The first time I heard the sound, it was during prep, just before lights out. Koi. 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 It echoed down the corridor, steady as a heartbeat, cruel as a drum. Everyone froze. Even the ceiling fans seemed to hold their breath. Someone whispered, "She's back." I didn't believe in ghost stories then. But that night, in St. Teresa's boarding school, I learned that belief doesn't protect you, fear does. Before my time, there was a teacher named Adis Okonkwo, though everyone called her Madam Koi Koi because of her love for bright red heels that clicked when she walked. She was elegant, strict, beautiful, too beautiful, some said, for a mortal woman. Her perfume always filled the air before she entered a room. Her heels were her signature, koi, 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 the sound of discipline. Students feared her, but they also admired her. Then one rainy term, she vanished. The school said she was transferred. The senior students whispered something darker, that she had died. But no one ever told us how. Until the night she came back. It was the last week of the term. Exams had ended, and the whole dorm was restless. I was in dormitory A, closest to the old chapel, the one everyone avoided because of the cracked bell and blackened crucifix. That night, just after the lights went out, I heard it again. Koi. 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 The sound came closer, measured steps echoing in the corridor. Our prefect, Ngozi, hissed, "Would they walk her for night?" No answer. Then came the scent, rich, flowery, old-fashioned. The same scent my grandmother once called Adomo's perfume, used only by women of old. The door creaked open by itself. Cold air swept in. Ngozi's torch flickered, then died. Something, or someone, walked past the bunks. Only the clicking sound told us it was there. When it stopped beside my bed, I could hear her breathe. "Where are my shoes?" a voice whispered. I didn't move. No one did. Then suddenly, bang, the window shattered. When morning came, we found red footprints on the floor leading out of the dorm and fading toward the old chapel. For days, no one dared to walk alone. The teachers told us to stop spreading tales, but even they looked uneasy at night. One afternoon, as we fetched water, a junior student named Ifoma slipped and screamed. Her bucket rolled away, clattering. When we rushed to her, she was shaking. "She was behind me," she cried. "Until with one red shoe." That evening, the school gathered for prayers. But the house mistress, Madam Okoro, said nothing about it. She only warned us to stay indoors after 9 p.m. Her face was pale. I began to suspect she knew something. Then came the night of the storm. Rain battered the roofs. The lightning flashed in blue veins across the sky. The thunder sounded like war. We huddled together in the dining hall, the only place with a generator light. The prefects tried to keep us calm, but then the generator sputtered and died. Darkness. And in that darkness, koi. 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 Someone began to pray aloud. Another girl fainted. The sound drew closer, then stopped outside the hall. We heard the doorknob turn. Slowly. Ngozi grabbed my hand. "If we die today," she whispered. But the door never opened. Instead, we heard a woman sobbing outside in the rain. Papa is, the old janitor, rushed in carrying a lantern and muttering, "She's restless. The dead can't sleep when the truth is buried." Then he looked straight at me and said, "Child, your spirit is strong. You must follow me." 3 of us went, me, Papa is, and Sister Angela, the young nun who taught Siake. She held the lantern, I carried salt and palm oil. My grandmother once told me they repel wandering spirits. The chapel loomed ahead, dark and cracked by age. When we reached it, the heavy doors opened on their own. Inside, the candles were already burning. No one had lit them. And from the shadows behind the pulpit came the sound, koi. Koi. She appeared. Madam Koi Koi. Her red dress shimmered like blood under the candlelight. Her face, half beautiful, half destroyed. One eye gleamed gold, the other wept red tears. Her shoes dripped rainwater that looked too much like blood. "Give me back my blood," she whispered, her voice echoing like wind in a grave. Papa is raised his cross. Addis Okonkwo. Tell us what binds you to this earth. She pointed toward the altar, and for a moment, the flames turned blue. There, carved into the wood, were two initials. Emo. Sister Angela gasped. Madam Okoro. The wind screamed through the chapel, slamming doors, tossing him books into the air. "She killed me," the ghost hissed. Papa is and I exchanged a look. Then we ran toward the staff quarters, rain slashing at our faces. We burst into Madam Okoro's room. She was awake, clutching her rosary, whispering prayers. When she saw us, she cried, "I didn't mean to." Addis threatened to report me. She caught me stealing exam papers. We argued, she fell, she hit her head, she sobbed, shaking violently. I buried the shoes so no one would know. A chill filled the room. The air thickened like smoke. Behind us came the slow, dreadful sound. Koi. Koi. The ghost stepped through the wall, her eyes burning. "Liar," she said. "You pushed me." Madam Okoro screamed. "Forgive me." The spirit tilted her head, voice breaking. "Then give me rest." Papa is drew a circle of salt around the floor. Sister Angela began to sing an Igbo hymn, soft, trembling, holy. I stepped into the circle, holding the lantern. "Madam Addis Okonkwo," I said, my voice shaking, "you have been heard. Let the truth free you. Justice is done." The ghost looked at me. For the first time, she smiled, a sad, broken smile. She placed her hand on Madam Okoro's head and whispered words we couldn't hear. A red light filled the room, burning bright as the sun. When it faded, the heels were on the floor, silent, ordinary. Madam Koi Koi was gone. Madam Okoro knelt there, trembling. She said, "Now I will hear what she heard." From that night onward, Madam Okoro couldn't bear the sound of heels or loud footsteps. She retired before the term ended. We buried the red heels beside the chapel with proper prayers. The school erected a small marble plaque, "Here lies Addis Okonkwo, teacher, sister, wrong soul. May peace walk these halls." The haunting stopped. The mirrors no longer cracked. The corridors were silent again, except sometimes, during heavy rain, when a faint perfume drifts through the dorms and a soft voice hums the old hymn. But it's not angry anymore. I'm older now. Each time I visit St. Teresa's, I touch that plaque. It reminds me that injustice never sleeps, it waits. And sometimes the dead must walk before truth can rest. People still tell the story of Madam Koi Koi with fear, but I tell it with reverence. Because I saw her, not as a monster, but as a teacher who refused to be forgotten. And when the wind carries that distant koi, koi, I do not run. I whisper, "Go well, Addis Okonkwo. Justice is done."